even though we're in the midst of the fall sports season and we're gearing up towards the postseason, we have to take a little bit of a timeout and get our minds back on softball because there is some big news going on in the softball world. Sydnie Watts has been lighting the world on storm. State champion Austintown Fitch for the last 2 years going into her junior season. Everyone knew this summer was a big one for her where she was going to be going on a bunch of visits and making a bunch of meetings with coaches, and she has made her decision on where she's going to verbally commit to play for the next 4 years as a softball player. We're going to bring Sydnie on, and she's going to let everybody know exactly where she's going to be playing for the next 4 years. Sydnie, thanks for coming on. It's a big day for you, girl.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be furthering my academic and athletic career at Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, welcome to the 440 in the city of Atlanta. Sydnie, my first question before we dive into what made Georgia Tech feel like home, this whole recruiting process has probably been a whirlwind for you, especially this last summer. From your perspective, what's it all been like?
It's been crazy. It's been a lot, but very exciting. Going on visits was fun, but honestly, I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, it's a lot of stress, and a lot of people have been waiting for this decision for a while. Let's talk about Georgia Tech. Let's bring Ty Bartell, your good buddy. He's popping in too. He wants to be a part of this moment. Let's talk about Georgia Tech. You went on the visit. What was it that made you make that decision really quick that this is where I want to be at home?
From the minute I stepped on campus, I knew that's where I wanted to be. The school obviously is a very good school, and the coaching staff, the area, just everything about it was just perfect.
Now, Sid, I know for a fact that Anthony's keeping a nice, cool, calm, composed face right now, but inside he is giddy as all heck about your decision, too. But when we were talking, Sid, I know this one wasn't one that was originally on your radar. So what was the thing that really impressed you most, that really drew you to Georgia Tech? Because I know not originally on your radar, but this is what you went with.
Everything. My dream has always been to play down south, and the minute I talked to the coaching staff, I knew that's who I wanted to play under for the next 4 years.
All right, let's talk about that coaching staff. Obviously, Eileen Morales played for Georgia Tech. She's a Hall of Famer there. And then you get the new pitching coach in Coach Dixon coming along this year. I know she was a big role in this as well. What was it about this coaching staff that made you fall in love with them and made you feel so comfortable at Georgia Tech?
Just their personalities. They're all very different, but they bond together so well. And I feel like it's the right fit for me with their personalities.
Christy and Tommy are more than just your parents. They're also softball super fans. I know, both in their own right, too. What was the news like breaking it to them when you finally decided this is where I wanted to go? What were both of their reactions like?
Well, my mom said she knew over the weekend, just seeing how happy I was and seeing my smile. And she said, I just kept saying how much I loved it there. Like she said, I couldn't go 10 minutes without saying how much I loved it. And unfortunately, my dad couldn't go on the visit with me. But just hearing how happy and how much I loved it, he was happy for me.
You're getting a lot of love in the comments, Sid. This community has been just waiting for this decision, like we said before, and you're getting a lot of congratulations, a lot of how much this community is proud of you. Austintown, Fitch, and beyond. You're seeing some coaches from other teams that you play against as well. What's it mean to you to have the whole kind of softball community up here in Youngstown in the Northeast Ohio area be happy for you?
It means a lot. It's just great knowing how many people support me.
You look at coming in as a freshman, Sid, and I don't think you could have ever expected the whirlwind that was going to follow after your freshman year too. And I mean, you've become one of the hottest stars in sports, not just softball, in sports in the entire area. With that 2 years under your belt, you know this decision was looming. You got this done. What do the next 2 years look like for Sydnie Watts prior to going to the actual college?
Just continuing to work hard, and we're going to win states again. So that's one of our goals, obviously. But no, just continuing to work hard and pushing myself to be better than I am now.
Sid, I know you're only one day into this decision, but how much easier is it going to be to just go out there and enjoy the last 2 years at Fitch now that this decision is over? You're not worried about impressing coaches. You're not worried about where you're going to be the next 4 years. This is where you're going to be. So now you can just focus on being the best Fitch Falcon that you can be for the next 2 years.
think it's going to be a lot easier for me, because that was one thing. I was very stressed with recruiting. I constantly emailing, constantly posting on Twitter. It's going to be a lot easier for me. But like I said, I just got to continue to work hard. And yeah.
What's the most excited thing you are for non-college wise about Georgia Tech going down there and having that experience down there? What is the most exciting thing for you going down there?
I love the city. I love the city, and just most people look at Atlanta and like think, oh, big city. I feel like Georgia Tech is its own bubble. Like it's a campus, a very big campus town. Like it's all Georgia Tech, and then 5 minutes down the road you have the big city, and I love that, and it's more.
Past softball, Sid, Georgia Tech is known for its academic prowess, of course. It's an engineering school. It's one of the best engineering schools in the country. What are you going to be going down there to, learn and study about? Do you know yet?
Not really. I really do like the idea of physical therapy, but which would be a bio major, but I want to look more into that.
Do you ever have to kind of like pinch yourself and remind yourself that you will be playing college softball now? Like it's no longer in question. Like there's a check mark next to your name that collegiate athletes or athletics are waiting for you.
It hasn't processed yet.
It hasn't processed. Let's just, before we let you go, I want to just take your mind 2 years in the future when you sign on the dotted line and it becomes a reality. It's official. You know yourself better than anybody. What do you think that moment's going to be like for you to have that moment and to be able to officially say without a shadow of doubt that your dreams have come true?
It's going to be very exciting, probably a few tears. Actually, I cried last night, but no, just very exciting overall.
There's obviously going to be a lot of tears. A lot of people so happy for you, Sid, and everything that you've done and brought to this community. We'd be remiss without giving you that opportunity to give, once again, thanks to everyone that's made this dream possible for you.
Yeah. So I want to thank my parents, my mom for always being my travel buddy, my dad for spending hours pushing me, my little sister for being my biggest cheerleader ever, and all of my coaches, everyone with recruiting, practice, pushing me, and the community, just everybody.
All right, so obviously my last question for you, obviously your dad wasn't in Atlanta, so excluding your dad, who was the first person that you had to tell that you made this decision and that you were gonna continue your career at Georgia Tech?
My sister. She wasn't home when after I talked to the coaches, but my sister, and then my best friend Callie.
All right, so now you tell the whole world. We all know. Everybody knows Georgia Tech is where you're going in a couple of years to continue your softball career. Congratulations so much. We wish you the best of luck. We'll talk to you again come softball season when you're back in that Austintown Fitch blue and red.
Yes, thank you so much.
And